Speaking of upcoming Marvel movies, they've been tight-lipped of everything post Avengers 4, but we've been getting news slipping out, and one of the most recent reports we've gotten is that they're fast-tracking a Shang Chi movie.
Shang Chi? Can we get some Shang Chi's in the chat? What? There's nothing for that? Okay, interesting. Shang Chi is a character that's created in December of 1973, also known as the Master of Kung Fu, and first appeared in Special Marvel Edition number 15. So basically, he is the master of all Kung Fu. His name is what he is.
He is Bruce Lee in the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
It's just like Liu Kang.
Just kind of amped up just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all the power you've ever seen Bruce Lee have times like 3.
And it makes sense. Liu Kang is also the Bruce Lee in Mortal Kombat. And it makes sense because Bruce Lee is a figure that feels superhuman. Like if you've ever watched his old movies, he feels larger than life. So it makes sense. You'd be like, yeah, let's make him a superhero.
No, so he's popped up. So when it comes to his abilities, I'm going to list off these because I've seen every article talk about it, even though one of these won't be in the movie. He's a master at basically every form of martial arts you can think of. A tactician, like a master tactician if you need to like make a battle plan. Yeah. And then one that they keep throwing out there is like sometimes he can duplicate his body. It was like, no, that happened in like a weird space what if event. That's not going to happen in the movie. But I knew I needed to say that in order to make sure we covered all of our bases and no one comments about it. So I'm going to put that out there. So it sounds like this movie is going to be pretty grounded, and a lot of people are speculating right now. We do know that they are on the hunt for a director, and they're looking for a director of Asian descent. Also, my voice cracked in the middle of that sentence. And Dave Callahan is scripting it as we speak. As we speak, he's somewhere in office.
Now, he's getting paid a lot of money by Marvel to write one of a classic character, which Shang-Chi is a classic character. He's not a household name. But as somebody, he's always a character that's interested in me. I thought he's been really cool because he kind of comes from the same tradition as characters like Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Exploitation, these types of exploitation movies were popular. Let's make a character that fills that role. I enjoy those characters, but it's interesting because the reaction online seemed to be like, oh, this will be Black Panther, but for the Asian community. And I think the relationship's a little bit different. Yeah, because like traditionally he's the master of Kung Fu. He's based off Bruce Lee. Those movies and movies like that exist and have existed for a long time. So you're going to have to find a different angle in the character, which I think it's really cool that they're trying to find a director of Asian descent, because that person who's part of that community should know what to do to make hopefully be able to see like, hey, because what made Black Panther special is we hadn't seen movies like that. So hopefully somebody of that community will be like, this is how we haven't been represented, and this is how we could be represented. And I think that was part of why Crazy Rich Asians, other than being delightful, blew up the way it was, because that community is not really depicted as the leads in their own epic romantic comedy. You know what I mean?
I'm so glad I took you to see that movie.
It's such a good movie. It is a delightful.
Get some Crazy Rich Asians love in the chat. Austin, did you see that movie?
Not yet.
What are you doing?
It's on Redbox.
It's on Redbox.
You could literally walk to Redbox and rent it, or rent it online, but Redbox is cheaper.
Oh, I can walk there. I can walk there.
I'd say own it. It's great. It's delightful.
It is a really delightful movie, and I really hope this character gets his due, because I think you could do him really cool. I just also quick shout out, for a long time in the comics, his dad was Fu Manchu.
For the kids at home who don't know who that is, could you let us know?
Fu Manchu is a classic pulp villain. He had a series of pulp novels where he was the bad guy. His depiction has not aged so great, by the way.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he's kind of like Ming the Merciless. We're going to have to update that. But here's an element I do like that I hope they keep. I do like the idea of Shang-Chi's dad being evil.
That's fun.
I hope they could keep that.
Quick question. Yeah. Who was the person on the cover of Detective Comics that has not aged well, period?
I don't remember the character's name, but there's a lot of Fu Manchu knockoffs, and he is one of them.
Let me see if I can look it up really quick.
It was a classic way of depicting villains of Asian descent, and they were all depicted basically the same way.
Let's get some oofs in the chat.
I think the Shadow's main enemy is depicted similarly, but I do like the idea of his dad being evil, because as far as I know, Shang-Chi doesn't have like a huge catalog of supporting characters.
He does have a good amount. Actually, recently, if you guys are fans of Domino from Deadpool 2, she's had her own series, and Shang-Chi was actually trained her, and a bunch of his villains came out, and they were all pretty cool. Also, basically, I'm seeing Marvel, like Kevin Feige just had a weekend to himself. Raid popped up on Netflix. He watched it. Yeah. He's like, what if we made a version of that, and that character now can play with like the Avengers? Great, have fun with it. Like basically get the Raid and Raid 2, and The Night Comes for Us. Little plug. We have a review on our channel. Go watch them. And get that stunt team to choreograph your movie, and guess what? You have a hit.
Well, I will say,
hopefully,
Shang-Chi is typically depicted as being Chinese, and it would make sense that Marvel would want to capitalize on that because a lot of their movies do very well in China.
Oh, what?
So it would be in their best interest to do that. However, if you wanted to think outside
think outside the bun.
When I think outside the bun a little bit, I couldn't help but think about like when I think about closest thing we have to Bruce Lee right now is Iko Uwais. I hope I pronounced that right. From the Raid 2, and The Night Comes for Us. I think we got a picture of him, and so it's like he's Indonesian. But like, maybe he could be the bad guy, like in The Night Comes for Us, and then you could still have his stunt team.
There you go.
Do it.
I mean, or have just a cameo in there, be one of the bad guys.
He's just got such a great physical energy. Like, I think Marvel typically like, hey, let's cast somebody with a lot of charisma and call it a day, and that works.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the time. I think this is the one time where it's like you need somebody with the skills to back it up. You were thinking of another actor that also has those skills.
And really quick, just so if you guys are watching this on YouTube, we have a lot of fun on the Twitch chat. I wanted to read one comment really quick that really got me because I had to do some. I was doing some mental hula hoops trying to figure this out. Wasn't there a racist superhero that turned black when he used his powers? Yes, and guess what? He later turned into Black Lightning. It was called like, his name was like Black Power or something. He was an old racist white man who would go and then turn into a black man, and it was problematic. I don't think he was very popular. Anyways, no, for me, there is an actor who I first was introduced to him in the Power Rangers reboot, which wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. But easily the best part of it was its cast.
The cast was strong, and how they worked together. I'm talking about the character that was the Black Power Ranger. His name is Ludi Lin. Now he is of Chinese descent, but he is an Aussie actor, and he immediately had a lot of charisma on screen for me. So it's like, and also, I don't know, I'll be honest, Shang-Chi doesn't, whenever I've read him, its charisma is not something that like pops to mind. It's someone who's very disciplined.
But it is somebody our Marvel actor needs. They need that charisma.
They do. What I mean? But also, or you have a supporting cast that can kind of pump them up a little bit. I don't know who, I mean, I have an idea of one character you could use from Marvel that would probably help out.
Maybe recast.
Are you feeling it?
Well, here's the thing.
Iron Fist could be
I'm actually
a
shocked
fun character.
that Shang-Chi didn't show up in the Iron Fist series, especially with some of the controversy around the first season. Like that would have been an easy way to like, hey, here's Shang-Chi.
Or Colleen Wing.
But now I'm glad they kind of held out if they're gonna give him a starring movie, which is interesting. It's an interesting character to, I guess Marvel's not. I can't think of another like headlining Asian Marvel hero off the top of my head.
Colleen Wing and Danny Rand almost like kind of like split Iron Fist before that got canceled. So not really. You know what? It's not great. I mean, Colleen Wing would actually be really cool to see like introduced in this. Like, I wouldn't want to recast her because I really like Jessica Henwick. As that, very good as that character. But I did have something that just popped in my brain. I mean, I wouldn't mind Iron Fist because you'd have some supernatural elements to kind of make it feel like, like there's otherworldly stuff happening in the Marvel universe. You don't need that, but it could be fun. Also, Danny Rand sometimes in the comics is written to be fun, and unlike the version we got in the Netflix show, if Finn Jones ain't doing anything right now, maybe you can give him another shot. Take two. But I'm actually super interested in this movie. Like, if they want to if the Marvel universe is going to keep going, keep reinventing it. Keep trying to like tell that like this universe is dynamic and it's very different, and it's not just your Iron Man, your Captain America, your Thors, and it's like that's not nothing, but it's a lot of heavy hitters. And if you have more dynamic fighters in there, like imagine Shang-Chi versus like Black Panther, the way that they choreographed Black Panther, so cool.
It would be really cool.
And I don't know, there's a lot of different avenues you could go down with Shang-Chi. I know that he was a part of the Avengers for a second when Jonathan Hickman was writing them. That team was like 20 people deep, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
The Avengers at this point is kind of like the Justice League. Everybody's been a member at this point.
Everybody. So when Shang-Chi popped up, I was like, I don't know. But I did. There was a whole issue for him, and I got to learn more about him. He seems like a fun character, and I liked him in Domino. So, are you guys excited about it? Are you excited about this?
100%. 100%. As long as you get the right director, I think for somebody like me, it's always about the director you get. Like Ryan Coogler was an amazing get for Black Panther. I will say, the director of Crazy Rich Asians, I believe, did a G.I. Joe sequel. So he has done action movies before.
Interesting.
Just throwing that out there.
Throw him a bone.
But as long as you get the right director, Timo, who did The Night Comes for Us, like that movie's a little too violent for Marvel, but
I mean, the action's really good.
Yeah, so,
story's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, that's not why you watch a movie like that.
This magic spy lady shows up for some reason.
100%, I'm more excited for this than like Eternals. It's like, hey, if you're gonna go to your deeper bench, give me some more Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Also, it just immediately sounded just more fun. Like it sounded like a more fun. Like it's just something you can grasp pretty easily. It's like, oh, there's gonna be a Marvel logo at the top of this poster, but it's a kung fu movie, and I'm like, great. And it could be larger than life, which is, and it doesn't have to be like. I guess it can kind of lean into like kung fu roots and superhero movies by having the larger than life feel to it.
Which would be something really exciting to see because most movies that aren't big tentpole superhero movies don't get a lot of money behind them, like that money behind them. It'll be cool. It'd be really cool to see a kung fu movie or an action martial arts movie get Marvel money behind it.
And okay, here's a little behind the scenes for Black Panther. I know that Ryan Coogler wanted to use one camera when he was capturing stuff. He did it for one scene, the casino fight, but I'm like, oh, that kind of dynamic cinematography would actually really elevate. I mean, it would elevate all their movies, but this specific movie, it would really elevate it. Well, guys, are you excited for a Shang-Chi movie? Let us know in the comments down below, and also who you would cast or who you'd want to direct this film. It could be a really cool step in a new direction for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also a cool step in a direction for us is when you hit that like button, because that way people can make their directions move over towards us. And subscribe, and we appreciate when you do that, and hit the bell notification. Click here for Patreon, click here for another video, and also
OnlyStupidAnswers.com.
click on yourself to check in. Make sure you're doing well.
Yeah, every once in a while you just gotta click on yourself and go to OnlyStupidAnswers.com too.